Hi, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to the network's Financial Literacy Month Money Mindset Masterclass. I'm Cheryl Sanchez, and I will be your host. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the founder of the network's organization and the author of The Journey of Success, Even When Success is Just Getting Out of Bed. For those of you who are new to our events, the Networks is a community of leaders, forward thinkers, and entrepreneurs who have joined together to realize success and to create and foster positive social impact. If you're interested in learning more about the Networks or any of our members, you can visit our website at thenetworks.org or find us on social media. This month, April, is Financial Literacy Month. Financial Literacy Month is a nationally recognized campaign to bring awareness to the need for more financial education in schools and for adults. Tonight's guest speakers are Joel Salomon and Monica Martinez-Hess. Unfortunately, Monica is not feeling well this evening, so she sent over some information for us to share with you. Joel Salomon is a prosperity coach who helps others overcome obstacles standing in the way of their financial freedom. He has been a Chartered Financial Analyst since 1995. He's a best-selling author of 3 books, right, Joel? 3? And he's an award-winning speaker, and his first TEDx talk just went live this week. I first met Joel back in 2019. I was attending an entrepreneurial conference at Westchester Community College, and he was facilitating one of the workshops. I don't remember what it was called, but it was something to do with finance or money or something like that. Ordinarily, I would have passed on that workshop. I had the attitude that I hated finance, I hated money, I don't want to hear anything about it, wasn't for me. I really wanted to go to one of those leadership courses or marketing or social media. I had no interest in this financial stuff that Joel was doing. But for some reason that day, I felt that because I didn't want to attend it, that I really should attend it. So I took the uncomfortable step and selected his workshop. It was much different than I expected, and he was raffling off a copy of one of his best-selling books, and I was the winner. So it was meant to be. And one of the first lessons I learned from Joel was to stop stating that I hated money. That was the beginning of my journey of financial freedom. Joel?
Thank you, Cheryl. And the biggest part of that introduction was the TEDx speech, by the way, for me at least, because some of you may know my biggest fear in life 6 years ago was public speaking. And so if I can do a TEDx talk, I put the link in the chat for those of you who want to watch it. It's 11 minutes of, I think, a couple of really powerful money secrets and techniques to create money miracles. But I had a lot of fear about speaking, and I overcame that fear. So I teach that you can choose faith or you can choose fear all day, every day. I recommend choosing faith. Believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and watch out. It's actually rule number 1 in the 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use, my second book. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you guys see the screen? Give a thumbs up. Great. So first, I'll talk a little bit more about my background. I'll give you some awesome tips to shift your money mindset if it's not in abundance and prosperity 24/7. We'll get you towards that goal. And then we'll talk about various money personality types. And I think we'll have plenty of time for questions. So this is my background. Started my career as an actuary. Some of you may know the difference between an actuary and an accountant. Anybody? Well, an actuary looks at his feet when he talks to you. An accountant looks at your feet when they talk to you. Yes, that was a joke. You can laugh if you want to. They say an accountant is an actuary with charisma. And I'm not the typical actuary. I did go through all the exams, became a fellow of the Society of Actuaries, but realized my true dream was to be a money manager. And as I talk about in my TEDx speech, it took me 20 years to get there. So tonight and in the TEDx speech, I'm going to reduce my long road so it can be your shortcut. So you can learn some powerful lessons tonight, how to cut the time you need to create your dreams. But you see, I had a circuitous route. I became an analyst at Moody's, senior credit risk manager at Swiss Re before going to the hedge fund world, and then starting my own hedge fund before doing this. And if you guys have questions about why I shut down my hedge fund, which was my true dream 20 years ago to become a prosperity coach, we can talk about that in the Q&A. But I wanted to start with a couple of stories about my hedge fund. And in 2012, after I got laid off from Citigroup, I decided that I was going to start my own hedge fund. And so I went out to a lot of institutional investors like insurance companies, and 2 insurance companies orally agreed to give me money. So I went about the process of starting a hedge fund by hiring a lawyer, an accountant, a fund administrator, prime broker, and I moved into prime real estate space on 54th and Madison Avenue. I felt like I'd arrived. And then I called up the 2 companies that had orally agreed to give me money, and they both backed out. I had no pipeline. I had no plan B. And so I could have given up, but I felt like I was this close to my dream. Remember, it's 19 years later. So I did a couple of things that we'll talk about in more detail in a few minutes, but one of the things I did was visualize. I thought about for a few minutes every day what I wanted to happen. And let me give you the 6 steps to visualizing. People will tell you to, yeah, think about your dreams, daydream on purpose. But let me give you the 6 steps, because there's a right way of visualizing. So the first step is to pick a time, be consistent. Don't do it right after you wake up in bed, but you can do it right after you wake up outside of bed, because I don't want you to fall back to sleep. So pick a time, pick a place, not in bed. Pick the amount of time you're gonna do it for. I'd say 3 to 5 minutes is kind of my sweet spot. You may start thinking about other things if you go 10 or 20 or 30 minutes, like I do. I would. So 3 to 5 minutes. The 4th step is to write down at least 3 of those dreams and desires before you sit down to visualize. So plan it out. I planned out my visualization in January 2013 to jump up and down, be so excited that the money came in and I've achieved my dream. And that was my visualization. Step 5, which may be the most important, is from Wayne Dyer's book, Wishes Fulfilled. He said, make your future dream a present reality by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Make your future dream a present reality by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So can you feel it first? Can you really get excited? The hedge fund's active. You're so excited. This is your 20-year dream. And step 6 is something I have a hard time with. You guys may be able to do it easier than me, but step 6 is to picture yourself in the dream. Like you're looking down, seeing yourself jumping up and down. You know, you're looking at your semi-bald head, right? And you're seeing it from the sky and you're like, yes. So that, for me, that's difficult. So those are the 6 steps for visualization. And the other thing I did when after I called up those investors and they said, we're not giving you any money, is I acted as if they had given me the money. And how did I do that? Well, first of all, I continue to go to conferences that I'd planned to go to in January and February 2013 that I was invited to by the investment banks. I got on calls and my analysts got on calls with the companies that we were going to invest in. I hired the analyst anyway, by the way, and I said, hey, just stay home until we actually get the money. He was working from home 10 years before working from home was a thing. And because I was getting charged per seat in my hedge fund hotel overlooking Madison Avenue. And then I did something even more crazy. I actually put together a spreadsheet and calculated the amount of money we were making every day. So I wrote down the stocks we would buy and the stocks we were going to bet were going to go down. We were a hedge fund, a stock hedge fund. And every day I calculated it by hand. Hey, Sean, great day today. We made a lot of money. Or Sean, we lost $1 million. We got to rejigger the portfolio. Let's work it out. And we did this every day. Now, I didn't just do these things, of course. I did go out and call everyone I knew, both the companies and individuals, begging them for money. And on January 25th, just a month later, we had a really good meeting with another insurance company. And 45 days, we had a written agreement. And then 45 days after that, we actually had the money and I was investing it. And you'll hear the full story if you watch my TEDx video. A little bit more animated than I am right now, but it's still a pretty good story. So let's talk about how to shift your money mindset. So we're going to do a quick little exercise here for the next 5 or 6 minutes. There's 3 steps. So the first step to shift your money mindset is to identify your BS. Not that BS, but your belief systems. So take 2 minutes and write down some beliefs you have about money right now. Cheryl already said, like, one belief that might be limiting is I really dislike money. Right? I don't want to go to a course that's talking about money. That may be a limiting belief, or it is a limiting belief. So take a couple of minutes and think about your prosperity, your money beliefs, and that may be limiting you right now. And then I'll ask you if you wouldn't mind to share. So take a couple of minutes and write that down. Hopefully you guys have a pen and paper with you. If you don't, go get one, or you could write on your phone. It's fine, but take a couple of minutes. Now, the second part of this is to think about what the beliefs are and maybe why you believe that. So that's kind of the first full step is, okay, I believe, I don't have a good relationship with money, but why is that the case? Maybe think back to, generally a lot of beliefs, limiting beliefs come from childhood or things that happened in your life. Maybe your parents said, that's too expensive when you were in Toys R Us, when there was a Toys R Us 40 years ago, like happened to me, or, money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think? You can get everything you want? Yes, I do. So take one more minute, finish up with your writing. I'm going to stop the share for a second so I can see all your beautiful faces. So who would like to share some limiting beliefs they have about money and maybe where they came from. Brittany.
So my belief that I wrote down was that it's hard to get, but it's easy to spend. And I think that comes from like not only maybe because like I grew up with us kind of like saving money and stuff, but also from my personal experience where I guess like I would work for a whole week and like, you know, the next day I felt like my paycheck was gone.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. So money's hard to get and easy to spend. And yeah, probably from, you know, upbringing. So here's a simple reframe. I teach affirmations. So you could say money comes easily and frequently to me. Money comes easily and frequently to me is a good reframe for that one. Anyone else? Thank you for sharing.
You're talking limiting beliefs?
Yeah, limiting beliefs. We'll start with limiting beliefs.
I had a couple. Being successful in business, it's important who you know as opposed to how good you are. And my other negative one was the older you are, the less time you have to build a successful business.
Yeah, I mean, people are taught that if they're getting older, they have less time to save, less time for accumulation. But I'm not going against retirement savings, but if you are a business owner, you could have a really good 1 or 2 or 3 years and accumulate a ton of money quickly, right? So let's eliminate that limiting belief. And yeah, I would say being successful in business, it is good to have a good network. Your network generally equals your net worth, but that doesn't eliminate the fact that you also need to have some skills. So both of those are, I think, empowering beliefs. I wouldn't say those are limiting beliefs, but thank you for sharing. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint here. Can you guys see my screen again? Good. So here's the shift. So we did a little bit of that for our volunteers, Henry and Brittany. Thank you for sharing. So the second step is to create a list of empowering beliefs that you want to possess. You don't need to have them right now, but it's just beliefs that you want to have going forward. So take a minute or two and write down some new empowering beliefs, as we just did for Brittany and Henry. But the way to do it is flip it, right? If you say money's really hard to get, like we did with, like Brittany said, money comes easily and frequently. So take a couple of minutes and write down how you would flip your limiting beliefs to empowering beliefs. So take a couple more seconds and just finish up the sentence you're writing. So I'll give you a little tease. In my TEDx speech, I give one very powerful technique on how to shift your limiting beliefs to empowering beliefs. You have to watch to about the 10-minute point though. So who would like to share some empowering beliefs about money, even if they don't have them yet, where they want to get to? I think Lynn is leaning in. Lynn, would you like to share? You have to unmute yourself, sorry. Oh, I'll ask you to unmute.
I guess if I knew what I knew now, I would have more money.
You knew
That I-
then what you have now. Yeah.
Right.
I got it.
Um,
So that's great.
my parents worked very hard. They had 2 or 3 jobs apiece. And I just said to myself, well, that's no way to live. But they were doing it for us, for our future. Pay for private school, college, etc. So if I knew then what I know now, I would have been a lot better off.
Yeah, so my signature, if you guys ever get an email from me, look at the signature. It says, don't work hard and become financially free. Don't work hard and become financially free, because the richest people in the world have their money work for them. They don't work 2, 3, 4 jobs. Right? They have their money work for them. They invest it. And we're taught growing up, unfortunately, work really hard, and then you'll be rich and successful. But I will tell you, that's a limiting belief. That's a massive limiting belief. Work 16 hours a day, and then you'll be rich and successful. And generally that lesson comes from people who are living in lack and scarcity.
Mhm.
So thanks for sharing, Lynn. So let's go back to the slides. And so step 3, we've already talked about. Step 3 is acting as if. So you want to start thinking and talking and acting on your new beliefs and focusing on these new beliefs as if they're already true. So I'm not going to go through this one because I already gave you the example, but think about some actions you could take to reflect your new beliefs. Now, this, as I gave in my example, I didn't spend any money to reflect my new belief. I didn't spend any money to assume that my hedge fund was already up and running. I got into a spreadsheet and started playing. I had a call with my analyst every morning. I went to the conferences that were free. So I acted as if that way. And I also visualized, which is another way to act as if, to think about what you want to happen. So that's a powerful way to shift your money mindset. And again, there's another powerful one in the TEDx speech. I also wanted to go through the 7 money personality types. So anybody know why there's a sugar pie here? So that's the acronym for the 7 money personality types. Sugar pie. So let's go through SUGAPIE. So now these money personality types are provocative, and you're not going to be 100% of one or the other. And I got to wait for you to actually figure out which one you are at the end in just a couple minutes. So the splurger type, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. They're just spending. The unconscious ones, yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. They got their head in the sand, right? They're not looking at their accounts ever. The greedy ones, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The accumulators are the savers. And I made each of these provocative because savings can be not so good either. If you're just hoarding, like the protectionist is always worried, always scared. The protectionist puts their money into the mattress. The accumulator puts their money into the bank, but won't put it anywhere else, right? The investor obviously is putting money into stocks or real estate or crypto or commodities, any type of investment. It could even be writing a book and getting some passive income, or an Amazon fulfillment business. And then there's the egotist who believes that no matter what investment they do, they're going to make a ton of money at it. So that's sugar pie. So if you want to figure out what your money personality type is, you can fill out your personalized form. I'm going to ask you guys to get out your phone right now. I know most people say throw away your phone when somebody's giving a presentation, but get out your phone and text to the number 66866 prosperity, and it'll ask you for your email, and you'll get, if you put in the email, an form to fill out. It's basically, it'll take you 3 to 5 minutes. My daughters did it in 3. Don't think about it. All you're doing is circling adjectives, and then it'll calculate the number of S's, U's, G's, A's, P's, I's, and E's. And you'll use the form to determine what your money personality type is. If you're curious, you may think, oh, I know I'm a splurger, but maybe do the form and see. And then, of course, the next step is to adjust slightly towards the other. If you're a splurger, you probably want to become more of a saver. If you're a saver, you want to become more of a splurger, and so on. So these actually are in my last book, Infinite Love and Money. That book I wrote to end divorce caused by money. It's actually a co-authored book with Molly Singh, who's a relationship coach. She wrote all the amazing chapters on conflict and emotions and how to resolve differences. So that was it. That was my presentation, how to create money miracles. I put the link in the chat. Watch to the end, like it, comment it if you think it's worthy of a like, and then text to the number 66866 prosperity for your money personality type survey. Questions? Thank you, Henry. Thanks for attending. Questions, comments?
Hi, Joel.
Yes, hi. Oh,
Question.
So ladies first, Dax, Maria.
Okay, hi, Joel. So I think I know what personality types I was, and I'm in the process of transitioning. But how would you say you go about to become the investor type? Because I was taught when I was younger not to trust anybody with your money. So how do you go about trusting people with your money?
So rule number 8 in the 9 money rules is DIY investing. So I teach people you don't need to trust others if you don't want to, and you can do it yourself. Okay, so that's actually rule number 8 in the book. Having said that, I will tell you not trusting others is probably a very large limiting belief. And I actually talk about this in the 9 money rules. Chapter 3 is called Choose Faith Over Fear. And I had a lot of not so pleasant things happen to me growing up. My parents' house got robbed twice. I walked in on the robbers when I was not yet 16 years old, chased them out of the house. Other not so great things happened to me. So most of my life, I'd say at least for the first 30 years, I assumed people were mean, evil, and out to get me. And after learning about the law of attraction and The Secret and getting some teachings from Mike Dooley and Think and Grow Rich in 2008, so it's been about 15 years, I started changing my thoughts to people are kind, caring, and out to help me. And a funny thing happened in the last 15 years. Most people are kind, caring, and out to help me. And I will tell you, there are 8 billion people on this planet. You haven't met 7,999,000,000 of them. Even if you're like a really awesome networker, you might know 1 million people. So the other 7,999,000,000 are kind, caring, and out to help you. So that's my thought for the day. You know, you can shift your thoughts by doing some affirmations like people are kind, caring, and out to help me, or I believe that people are kind, caring, out to help me. And then on the other side, as I said, I teach DIY investing. So if you, by the way, I give everybody 30 minutes free. If anybody wants 30 minutes free prosperity coaching, no obligation to go any further than that. You know, sign up for it and we can start on a journey to financial freedom. Thanks for the question, Maria. Dax?
Yeah, hi. I was just curious if you were still working with that hedge fund.
No, I shut it down. You didn't ask the question why, but let me know if you want to know why. But I shut it down completely in 2016 to just coach.
Mm.
So here's another tease. In my TEDx talk, I explain why I shut down my hedge fund to become a prosperity coach. So there's another tease. You can watch it and figure out and listen to why I did that and why I'm doing what I'm doing now, which is, as I say in the speech, my true purpose in life.
Yeah, I'm at a point right now where I'm trying to strike out on my own and work for myself, you know, and you know, I have this thing where I guess my limiting belief was working for others and generating money and wealth for others versus for myself. And I don't have a problem working hard or long hours. And I feel like it makes more sense to work those hours for me and generate that money for myself.
Yeah, no, I will contradict you, Dax, and say, I don't know that it's a limiting belief to say that you can be massively wealthy by working for yourself. Like, I will tell you, the richest people I know are mostly entrepreneurs. And so go for it, you know? And I actually right now.
I was actually saying my limiting belief was about working for others and generating money for others versus working for myself.
Okay, got it.
And generating that money for myself.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, most people are taught you have to work for a company to accumulate wealth. And I'm actually like, I just started a new fast track prosperity coaching program focused on entrepreneurs, because the people I've been able to help the most are entrepreneurs. So I have one-on-one coaching, I have a membership, and my one-on-one coaching clients have manifested over $3 million now. And Cheryl knows that my Money Miracles membership members have now manifested $1,319,000 in just 18 months. So yeah, I completely agree. The entrepreneurs, like, definitely go for it.
Thank you.
Sure. Questions, comments?
Well, I just definitely wanted to share that an important step of my journey was shifting my mindset and being able to do that in steps that I felt were believable. So like an example was, you know, when I first met Joel and started going through the books and the workshops and stuff, I was like, I can't go from saying I'm broke to I'm rich. Like, I couldn't make the jump. I felt like I just wouldn't believe it if I started having affirmations in the morning going, I'm rich. So Joel and I talked, and I did baby steps with it. And I would change things, like I would stop saying things like, I don't have money or I'm broke. And I would start saying things like, I used to have problems with money, or I used to have, you know, limited income. And I started to put it in the past that way, because then I believed it. And then I was able to take like the next step and could say things, you know, further along in the process. And I still crack up now when I say I'm rich, but I kind of believe it now. And it's a good thing, because that's part of the acting as if. So now when I do affirmations and I say I'm rich, I'm like, I believe it. And I know that, you know, it's working. So that's just a really important tip that I wanted to share, is that sometimes you can't make that jump from such limiting beliefs and the scarcity mindset to going to the full prosperity mindset. So you can just make those little changes in the things that you say or the things that you think and move yourself along to get to places like saying, I'm rich.
Thank you, Cheryl. Really, really important points. And yeah, baby steps are critical. And it's really important to say things you believe in. So I talk about this in my TEDx speech as well. Like saying affirmations that you don't believe at all, it's going to take a lot longer, right? To say it's a good thing I'm rich when you get a big bill, you can do that hundreds, thousands of times, and it will shift your mindset eventually. But you could also say things that you believe in right now, like I'm on my way to becoming rich, or I'm beginning to become rich, or allow myself to be rich. Or a lot of people say, just say, I am a money magnet. I am a money magnet. But I say, write down your level of belief from 1 to 10, which, by the way, belief is rule number 1 in the 9 money rules. So what's your belief level? And if you don't believe, if you're not 7, 8, 9, or 10, 10 is absolute faith. I know it to be true. And 1 is massive doubt. If you're not 7, 8, 9, or 10, don't say it. Like start with a softened affirmation that you truly believe in. I'm on my way to becoming a money magnet. I allow myself to be a money magnet. I'm beginning to become a money magnet. And then you're like, oh yeah, I am. I'm an 8, I'm a 9, I'm a 10 for that. So say that first as you build it up, take the baby steps. And then maybe a few months from now, you say, wow, look at all the money that did come in. Yes, I am a money magnet. So thank you, Cheryl. Great point.
You're welcome. So our next speaker was scheduled to be Monica Martinez-Hess, but unfortunately, Monica is not feeling well today. But I did want to share some information that she sent over. First, some info about Monica for those of you who don't know her. She was born and raised in Guadalajara, Mexico, where she received her BA in marketing. She moved to the United States in 2009, where she began her career as a financial professional with New York Life. She's licensed in multiple states where she serves and educates families and business owners about financial products and services. And Monica's goal is to keep empowering people, especially women, and being an example for young Latinas. She's currently on the board of the Westchester Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Monica sent over this message. Now that you have these tips to change your money mindset, one step you can take is to put your financial life in order. Here's some steps that can help you. Number 1, set SMART financial goals. Develop a plan to reach short and long-term financial goals, such as setting a household budget, creating an emergency fund, paying off credit card debt or student loans, saving for a vacation, home, retirement, or college, and prioritize your goals. Make sure each one is SMART, S-M-A-R-T, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Number 2, maximize pre-tax and tax-advantaged contributions. Each year, the employee contribution limit for 401k and similar employer-sponsored retirement plans increases for inflation. The catch-up contribution limit for participants 50 and over increases as well. Number 3, protect your most valuable asset. Human capital is unrealized salary, bonuses, and other forms of compensation that you will earn throughout your lifetime. It is likely a wage earner's most valuable financial asset, yet most people fail to protect it. You insure your home, automobile, and other valuables against damage, loss, or theft. Similarly, you should consider protecting your human capital with life insurance. A financial professional can help calculate your human capital and implement a life insurance strategy that helps to protect your income and your family against the unexpected. And number 4, develop a savvy investment strategy. Finding the right mix of investments is key to managing risk and volatility. Before you begin investing, it's important to assess your available assets, liquidity needs, investment goals, time horizon, and risk tolerance. And I thank Monica for sending over that information and hope she feels better soon. So thank you to everyone for joining us today. We have a few events coming up. For those local to the Westchester County, New York area, we have a multi-chamber spring networking event in Ossining with the Greater Ossining Chamber of Commerce on April 20th in the evening. And we have our Lupus Awareness Month fundraising event and walk in FDR State Park in Yorktown on May 7. We also have the day-long online celebration on World Book Day, which is April 23rd. All of the information can be found on thenetworks.org. And please remember to check out Joel's TEDx talk. For those of you who are not yet members of the networks, we would love for you to join us on the journey of success. Head on over to thenetworks.org and claim your free profile, or better yet, become a member. It's only $10 a month or $5 for students and seniors. We look forward to connecting with you again in the future. Stay safe and enjoy your journey, everyone.